Imagine a company with no CEO, no board of directors, and no HR department, no corner office. Every decision, from how to spend the budget to who gets hired, is made by a vote. And that vote is recorded permanently on a blockchain where nobody can tamper with it. This is not science fiction. This is already happening right now in Web3 companies, investment funds, and communities managing hundreds of millions of dollars. It's called a DAO, a Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And whether you are a founder, an investor, or a business leader in Dubai, you need to understand this structure because it is coming to your industry faster than you think. Welcome back to Business and Breakfast. I am Hedi, episode 13. Let's decode what is the DAO. Let's start with the problem that DAOs are designed to solve. Traditional corporate governance is a pyramid. The CEO makes the call, the board approves it, middle management executes it, and the people actually doing the work, the employees, the contributors, the community, have almost no voice. This structure made sense in the industrial era, when decisions took months and informative moved slowly. But in 2026, when a startup can go from zero to $1 billion valuation in 18 months, when a market can shift overnight, when your community is your product, a rigid hierarchy is a liability. Think about it. How long it takes for a major corporation to approve a new initiative? 6 months? A year? By the time the paperwork clears, the opportunity is gone. And then there is the trust problem. Shareholders don't always know what boards are deciding. Employees don't always know why they are being restructured. The process is opaque, and opacity breeds distrust. The DAO was designed to fix all of this. Transparency, speed, community ownership, and let me show you how. What exactly is a DAO? Here is the clearest definition. A DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, is an organization whose rules are encoded in the smart contract on a blockchain and whose decisions are made by token holders voting, not by a CEO or a board. The community is the board. Let me break that down in 3 parts. First, the rules are code. Instead of a company constitution written in legal language that lawyers argue over, a DAO's rules are written in smart contracts, self-executing code that runs automatically when conditions are met. No interpretation, no loopholes, no one can override it. Second, the decisions are made by vote. Every major decision, how to allocate the treasury, which projects to fund, whether to change the fee structure, is put to a vote. Every member who holds governance tokens can vote. 1 token, 1 vote, or sometimes weighted by contribution. It really depends. The third is ownership is distributed. Instead of equity held by a few founders and investors, governance tokens are distributed to the community, contributors, early users, investors, developers. Everyone who adds value can own a piece. A DAO is a company where the rules are code and the shareholders are the community. Let me walk you through exactly how a DAO makes a decision, because this is where it gets fascinating. Step 1, someone submits a proposal. Anyone with enough governance token can put a proposal on the table. I think we should allocate 50,000 USDC to fund this new project. It goes on the DAO's governance platform, usually Snapshot or a custom on-chain system. Step 2, the community discusses. There is a forum, a Discord, a governance thread. People debate the merits, they ask questions, they propose amendments. This is the deliberation phase, and it's completely public and completely transparent. The step 3, token holders vote. After the discussion period, usually 3 to 7 days, the vote opens. Every governance token holder can vote yes, no, or abstain. The weight of your vote is proportional to your tokens. Step 4, the smart contract executes. If the vote passes, say 60% in favor, for example, the smart contract automatically executes the decision. The funds are transferred, the change is made, no one needs to approve it, no one can block it. Step 5, the result is recorded permanently on the blockchain, immutable, transparent, auditable by anyone, anywhere, and forever. Compare that to a traditional board: schedule a meeting, prepare materials, get legal sign-off, vote, implement. 6 months minimum. A DAO does it in 72 hours. Governance at the speed of code. I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds theoretical. Does it actually work in practice? Let me give you 5 real examples that will change your perspective right now. MakerDAO manages over $8 billion in assets. It issues the DAI stablecoin, which we talked about last episode. The stablecoin that is backed by cryptocurrencies. And every parameter of that system, every risk decision, every fee adjustment is voted on by the MKR token holders. No CEO, no board. $8 billion managed by code and community. You also have the Uniswap DAO, controls a treasury over $3 billion. Uniswap is the world's largest decentralized exchange, processing billions in daily trading volume. Every major protocol upgrade is governed by Uni token holders, UNI token. ConstitutionDAO raised $47 million in 72 hours from 17 contributors to bid on an original copy of the US Constitution at Sotheby's, the auction platform. They didn't win the auction, but they proved that the DAO could mobilize tens of millions of dollars faster than any traditional organization in history. You also have Nouns DAO auctions, one NFT every single day. The proceeds go into a treasury governed by noun holders. They fund art, public goods, and cultural projects around the world. These are not experiments. They are organizations managing more capital than most hedge funds, without a single CEO, without a single board meeting. Not all DAOs are the same. Just like there are different types of companies, there are different types of DAOs. And the type matters enormously for how you structure one. Protocol DAOs govern decentralized software protocols. MakerDAO governs the DAI stablecoin system. Uniswap DAO governs the Uniswap exchange. Aave DAO, Aave AAVE DAO, governs the Aave lending protocol. These are the most capital-intensive DAOs. They are essentially the board of directors of multi-billion-dollar financial infrastructure. Then you have investment DAOs. Pool capital from members and vote on where to deploy it. The LAO was one of the first, a group of accredited investors pooling ETH, Ethereum token, and voting on startup investments. Metacartel Ventures, for example, funded some of the earliest DeFi protocol. These are essentially decentralized venture funds. Then you have the social and community DAOs, are membership-based organizations. Friends with Benefits is a cultural DAO where members pay in FWB tokens to access events, opportunities, and a global network of creators and builders. You have Bankless DAO, produces media and education content about crypto. And then there is the emerging category that I am personally most excited about, fund DAOs, tokenized investment vehicles, where the fund itself is governed on-chain. LPs hold governance tokens, and investment decisions are made by vote. This is where the DAO structure meets the fund structure we discussed in episode 9. And it's where I believe the next generation of investment vehicles is heading. So why your next fund or startup might be a DAO? Here is what this gets directly relevant to funders and investors in this room and in this region. Why might your next fund or startup be structured as a DAO? 3 reasons. First, capital formation without borders. A traditional fund requires accredited investors, minimum checks size, a geography-limited LP base. A DAO can accept contributions from anyone with a crypto wallet anywhere in the world in any amount. The ConstitutionDAO raised $47 million from 17,000 people, an average contribution of $206. That is not a traditional LP base. Second, talent that owns what it builds. In a traditional startup, early employees get options that may or may not vest, may or may not be worth anything at exit. In a DAO, contributors earn governance token in real time for the work they do. They are owners from day one. This changes the incentive structure entirely, and it attracts a different caliber of contributor. Third, radical transparency. Every treasury transaction, every vote, every decision is on-chain and publicly auditable. For investors, this is not a risk, it's a feature. You can see exactly where every dirham is going in real time without waiting for a quarterly report. The next unicorn might not have a CEO. It might have a constitution written in code. As always, let's talk about the risks. The risks and limitation of DAOs. I always give you both sides. DAOs are powerful, but they are not perfect. And if you are thinking about structuring something as a DAO, you need to understand the risks. Risk one, governance paralysis. When everyone has a vote, sometimes no one votes. Voter apathy is a real problem in DAOs. Many governance proposals pass with less than 5% of token holders participating. And when decisions require broad consensus, they can stall indefinitely. The solution is delegated voting, where token holders delegate their votes to trusted representatives who are more engaged. The risk too is smart contract exploits. In 2016, the very first major DAO, simply called the DAO, was hacked. A vulnerability in the smart contract code allowed an attacker to drain $60 million worth of Ethereum token, ETH. This led to the famous Ethereum hard fork. The code is low until the code has a bug. Modern DAOs use multi-signature wallets and extensive auditing to migrate this, but the risk never fully disappears. And the third risk is legal ambiguity. Most jurisdictions do not recognize a DAO as a legal entity. If a DAO is sued, who is liable? The token holders? The developers? This is an unresolved question in most countries. Wyoming in the US passed the DAO LLC law in 2021. The Marshall Islands recognizes DAOs, but in the UAE and most of the MENA region, the legal framework is still evolving. The code is low until the code has a bug. Now let's bring this home to the UAE and MENA, because this is where the opportunity is most immediate. The UAE is one of the few jurisdictions in the world actively building a regulatory framework for DAOs and Web3 governance. VARA, the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, has already issued frameworks for virtual asset service providers, and DAO governance structures are on the regulatory roadmap. DIFC and ADGM, the two financial free zones in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, are both exploring legal wrappers for DAO structures. The goal is to give DAOs the legal personality they need to sign contracts, open bank accounts, and operate as recognized entities. And the timing is perfect. The UAE's Vision 2031 targets a fully digital, cashless economy. The digital dirham is live. Tokenization is accelerating. The next logical step is tokenized governance. DAOs that manage tokenized assets, tokenized funds, and tokenized real estate. I believe the first MENA-based DAO investment fund, a fully on-chain token-governed investment vehicle, will launch within the next 12 months. And I will probably be a part of it. And when it does, it will be based here in Dubai. Dubai is not just regulating DAOs, it's building the infrastructure to host them. Let me zoom out and show you the full picture, because every episode of this series is a building block. Episode 6, blockchain, the infrastructure, the immutable ledger that makes everything else possible. The episode 8 was The Code is Law, Smart Contracts, the rules that execute automatically without intermediaries. Episode 9 was about what is a fund, the capital vehicle, how money is pooled and deployed. Episode 11, the tokenization, putting real-world assets on the blockchain. Episode 12, stable coins, the money that moves on that infrastructure. And this episode today, DAOs, the governance layer, how decisions get made in this new system. Together, these 6 episodes give you the complete architecture for the new financial operating system being built right now. Blockchain is the foundation. Smart contracts are the rules. Funds are the capital. Tokenization is the assets. Stablecoin are the money. And DAOs are the governance. You now understand the architecture. The question is, where do you fit in it? And this is a question I want to let you think about. It was Business and Breakfast. I am Hedi. It was the episode 13. The episode 14 is going to open a completely new vertical. I will talk more about artificial intelligence. A lot of people are talking about artificial intelligence, but I want to enter in a simpler but yet deeper explanation of what is artificial intelligence. And I promise you, it's not going to be what you expect. See you next Saturday, 11 a.m. UAE time. And in the meantime, bye-bye.